up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk and let's build. Yeah, alright, let's talk over drinks.
Welcome to another edition of Talks Over Drinks. My name is Corey Fauconnier, my partner in crime, the God Markel Prines, and today is a very special edition. Anytime it's a Liberty edition, to me it makes it super special. So today, on today's episode, we are going to interview Wes Benedict of the Libertarian Party, national author, libertarian activist, you name it, he's done it. And we are live today at the Hampton Inn by Hilton, Richmond International Airport. It's late, or almost early. We're at 23:35 hours, so we're creeping in the night. But Markel, you wanted to give a thought before we bring on our guest?
Absolutely. So I'm definitely looking forward to this show. We have a very great guest here who's going to give you some great information about the Libertarian Party. And I want to give you a little food for action. And that word today is treat your life like you're building a house. So start out with your mind. So you want to clear the field of any debris, anything that shouldn't be there, so that you can really dig deep. Now, your house is going to be your life. Your mind is going to be that ground. So you want to dig real deep into the ground so you can build a strong foundation for that house to stand on.
Understood. Well, that's very deep. So today I'm going to give a little intro. This gentleman is seasoned with experience. He's a volunteer, a candidate, an employee, and has been a party officer on the local, state, and national level for the Libertarian Party. He is an author of An Introduction to the Libertarian Party for Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Independents, and everyone else. He's also the founder of the Libertarian Booster Pack. It is Markel and my pleasure to welcome Wes Benedict. Wes, good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me on the show.
No
Great to
problem.
be here. All right, thank you.
All right. Well, to kind of get started, I have a couple questions. The first thing I want you to do is, why did you want to become involved in the Libertarian Party? What was it that sparked your interest in the beginning?
Well, like a lot of people, I used to sit around and argue with friends about politics.
Okay.
You ever done that?
All the time.
After work, after school, after whatever, talking with friends, have a beer or two, you start arguing, you get louder and louder. And I used to do that a lot. I did it at school a lot. I did it in college. Okay. And there was one time when I spent 6 months on a project for work, and I was on a project where I was real close with two other people, and we just argued about politics the whole time. And at the end of that 6 months, I realized I didn't change his mind on anything. He didn't change my mind on anything. And so what have I accomplished? And I've been doing that same thing for years and years,
okay.
Arguing with the same people, never changing anyone's minds. Wow. And I'm like, I was an engineer at the time. It's like engineers are all about productivity. How do you get something done? And so,
okay.
I did the math, changing zero minds, changing nothing about the world. And it's been a decade of that. Oh, wow. So I'm like, I want to actually get active and do something. And at the time, I had considered myself a Republican for many years,
okay.
and I still did at the beginning of that time. And I was a Republican. I was for smaller government, lower taxes, free markets. But I was also, and that's the good kind of Republican. Okay. I was also the bad kind of Republican.
And what's that? What's the bad type of Republican?
I was pro-war. Any time the 91 Gulf War, where we invaded Iraq the first time, or in Kuwait, and I was for that. Any war that had happened, if I heard Democrats or liberals saying, "Oh, the Vietnam War was wrong," I'm like, well, I didn't agree with that. I was for any war. I was just like a Republican, typical Republican, love America, pro-war.
Okay.
I didn't understand the war on drugs stuff. I'm like, police make people be good, throw them in jail, too many bad guys.
Okay.
I wasn't tolerant of gays and alternative lifestyles. I wouldn't say I was bad about it, but I wasn't civil liberties, different kinds of people. I didn't really understand all that stuff. So,
Okay.
but I did know that I thought smaller government was better, and I wanted to do something. And I thought I was going to maybe get involved with the Republican Party, but I wanted to research some issues some more.
Okay.
And I looked at the issues, and I kind of stumbled on the Libertarian Party, and I started reading about it. And it's like free trade. Okay, I'm for free trade. I like that. This sounds good.
Okay.
You know, I was always suspicious of any other group. If it wasn't Republican, I didn't trust it.
Okay.
Didn't trust Democrats. Didn't trust anything else. But here's a group that's for free trade, free markets. That's good. Low taxes. That's good. All these wars are bad. I hadn't really heard that much. Let me read about it and see what they're saying. And so I actually was open to some other ideas from a group that I didn't know much about, and I read about it. The candidate was Harry Brown, who ran for president back in 1996 when I was looking at this. And he was very articulate on a lot of the issues, and I read what he was saying. I'm like, okay, yeah, wars. I had never heard that maybe if we had done something differently, we could have avoided World War I or avoided World War II and avoided the Vietnam War. Now, terrible things happened with World War I and World War II, and they were terrible events. Nobody really won those wars. Tens of millions of people were killed. Millions of Jews were killed in the Holocaust, and we got in that war. If we had been smart 5 or 10 years earlier, maybe we could have prevented those wars. So yes, we won the wars, but we really didn't win because we lost millions of people. The others lost 100 million or 50 million people.
Right.
If we had been smart, maybe we could have found a way to be peaceful without going to war. And saving American lives, but also saving lives in Europe and other places.
Understood.
And, so I just hadn't heard good arguments against war before. And the Libertarian Party taught me a lot about that.
Okay.
I hadn't really learned the other side of civil liberties and police abuse. I just assumed, growing up Republican, you just think police good. Of course, I never liked them when they were following me. It might give me a ticket.
Right.
And the friends, the drinking age changed from 18 to 21 just when I turned 18, and so we were right on the edge. And we're always kind of drinking beer and hiding. That mean we weren't supposed to drink beer, right? Well, a lot of folks are 18, 19, they're drinking beer anyway in college, and,
Right.
Yeah,
and
I know
that's illegal. Marijuana's illegal. If you think beer should be legal, why shouldn't marijuana be legal? Why, it's not that I advocate any of that. I don't advocate drinking or smoking marijuana, but look at the problems having it illegal cause. And I learned those things from the Libertarian Party. So I became a Libertarian because I wanted to get active, but before I got active, I wanted to really know what are my views on positions. And I just found this Libertarian thing, learned a lot about it, and then got really active. And that was a long answer. I won't answer.
That's all right.
future
No,
questions.
that's fine.
You did. You answered some questions that I had actually for you about
Okay.
what really got you into it. And I know you said that you really started out with like a Republican type of belief system.
Yeah.
And your parents, they were mainly Republicans. That's how you grew up.
They were, yeah. I grew up Republican.
And you had brothers and sisters and stuff too.
Have one sister, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
did you guys split on the way you guys thought? Like growing up, were you like the child that just went off on his own and said, "Hey, this is my viewpoint"? I know you said that you would argue when you got older with friends about, "Hey, you couldn't change their mind." Was that in the family life? Did you feel as though you could persuade them, or?
I have a very nice family, but when I was young, I was shy. I'm still shy and quiet, but I was super shy and super quiet back then. So I really didn't argue about politics in high school when I was at home.
Okay.
It was more later when I went to college, and after college with other friends, I started actually thinking about it more and having opinions. So when I was in school, I was, and I still tell people this too, because I'm not an expert on history, I was good at math and physics. I wasn't good at like English and history and social studies and writing and stuff. So,
Gotcha.
so I avoided thinking about them, and probably I was just lazy. You know, I really couldn't write coming. I could write, but I couldn't hardly write anything worth reading.
Gotcha.
Coming out of high school. It wasn't till after college when I was just had to write for work or for other reasons that I learned, you know, to write a decent paragraph, you just have to spend a few minutes on it and not be lazy and wish you were just done with it right away.
Okay.
So yeah, my family, they were mostly conservative Republican. My sister more, I would say, more middle of the road, independent.
Okay.
I didn't argue with my parents a lot about it. It was more friends in college, because I had a lot of friends who were Democrats, some who were Republicans also, but that's where I built up the less good guys versus bad guys, even though the bad guys were my friends.
I'm a proud libertarian. Republicans and Democrats is just straight jibber jabbering. They talking nonsense, the same old political thought to make the game unfold. See, my ancestors died for my right to vote. Dead serious, nah son, this ain't no joke. But I'm not the 18th letter, nah, I'm just trying to spit rhymes to make my hood look better. Education for my kids, jobs for my peeps. No need to rob or peddle drugs in the streets. Living life right, not running from the beast. Chilling at the lab, penning rhymes to beats. Say, yo, let me tell you about the LP bottom line. Explaining how I blended in my book of rhymes. Say, yo, ink on the paper, just running down the line. Close your eyes, pay attention, I'm sure you'll be fine. Sarvis and Carr ran on the LP ticket. I seen the debate, hey yo, they sure look wicked. Nah, I'm not talking about the ale in the bottle. Passion for our rights, man, they take it full throttle. It's not who wins, but yo, how you play the game. Major parties trying to treat the voters like lames. Common won an Oscar so hip-hop can make change. I'm speaking eloquent while busting guns at the range. Hey yo, this is the truth and you should want to get with me. Blood, fire, this mic and I'm proclaiming new liberty. LPVA, third parties, no sin. I prove it to you, even the loser can win. Yo, this is truth, you should want to get with me. Blood, fire, the mic and I'm proclaiming new liberty. LPVA, third parties, no sin. I prove it to you, even the loser can win. Yo, some can play 3 teams on the field. Underdogs usually keep it all the way real, cause we don't really have too much to lose, because politicians be control freaks and fools. They yo, they out the loop, so let's take them back to school. Try USA with libertarian rules. Reduce spending, simplify tax, bureaucratic bloating, wasteful and whack. Balance the budget, spend money with care. Government is wasteful and that's really not fair. And marijuana is good for the people. The war on drugs is just wasteful and evil. Improve industry, legalize hemp. Jobs for the people, money well spent. Lead by example, engage free trade. My party platform excellent and well laid. With the house of car purchase, you know what you pay. Well, shouldn't healthcare be the very same way? You went to the doctor, you thought you were ill. Well, wait till you get your damn medical bill. Damn. You want reform, how about deregulation? More providers, lower price across nation. It's not rocket science, it's just common sense. Stop treating me like I'm stupid and dense. Support the freedom to marry, freedom to carry. Republican and Democrat opinions may vary, but true liberty is what the L for. And if you disagree, then shut the front door. Hey yo, this is the truth and you should want to get with me. Blood, fire, this mic and I'm proclaiming new liberty. LPVA, third parties, no sin. I prove it to you, even the loser can win. Yo, this is truth, you should want to get with me. Blood, fire, the mic and I'm proclaiming new liberty. LPVA, third parties, no sin. I prove it to you, even the loser can win. This message has been brought to you courtesy of the Loser for Liberty campaign, Libertarian Party of Virginia. Thank you for your support. Checking in live for you, it's Corey Sage Fauquier, definitely out here doing the nice libertarian theme song for Carl Lowe's campaign, Senate District 10, Powhatan and Chesterfield, and parts of Richmond. Definitely want to shout out our videographer Reed, who came from Virginia Beach up here on like the hottest day of the summer. It's in the 90s, leading in the suit, overlooking Shockoe Bottom, downtown Richmond. Definitely want to shout out my Senate candidate Carl Lozer. I'd like to shout out Toastmasters International, especially James River, and Main Street Motivators. I need to shout out my man Swerve De Niro, iPower 92, Concerned Black Men, and you know, definitely appreciate y'all support. You know, third-party candidates need our help. Politics is the same old, same old. We got to do something different. And we tell you to guys, go out there and definitely get involved in your community. Volunteer, 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 because that's what's going to make the community better. You don't have to be a politician to do that. Just give them your time. I know a lot of the other big politicians in town have a lot of money. We don't have a whole lot of money, but we have a lot of ingenuity and knowledge and connections, so we're going to try to utilize those things in order to make this happen. Definitely not forgetting to shout out the Richmond Crusade for Voters, my president Reggie Ford. Yes, sir, and I'm out. Okay. Well, I can say that when I joined the Libertarian Party back in 2015 and I had my first campaign experience, your book was one of the things that you gave me when we originally met at National in Alexandria. And I kind of use this as my libertarian Bible. If I ever get frustrated with the party or something's wrong or I feel like I'm going to leave, I think that this is the publication that kind of brings me full circle to me growing up as an independent and me finding a political home like the Libertarian Party. What made you write the introduction to the Libertarian Party? What was your perspective at the time, or what were you trying to accomplish when you actually decided to write the book?
Yeah, well, I had been an activist for several years, and even the executive director in Texas for a few years, and then the national executive director for about 2 years. Okay. And then I left for a little while, mostly to get married to someone that I had known since first grade.
Okay. All right. That's important.
It was time to get married, and yes, reconnected with someone from first grade. We got married, and so I had a little time, and I'm like, there's a lot of books about the libertarian philosophy, and they're written by economists, Milton Friedman, right. And I can't name all the philosophers, but there's a whole lot of stuff about the libertarian philosophy and trade and freedom and all this stuff. But there's not much about the Libertarian Party itself. There's websites and pamphlets and brochures, but there wasn't really a book that talked about the Libertarian Party. Okay. And so I wanted to write a book about that, the introduction to the Libertarian Party. Okay. Talks a little bit about our stances, free trade, low taxes, in the war on drugs, civil liberties, civil rights, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, it talks about what's it like to run for office, or what's it like when you go to a county libertarian meeting and there's only 2 guys there. Right. What do you need to do next? And by the way, that's happening all over the country. There's often just 1 or 2, and if you go and try and organize folks, you can turn it into 5, 10, or 15 real fast and grow from there. Okay. So I talked a lot about how to become active and to try and set expectations, because a lot of people have been to Republican or Democratic events, and they have this mind, they see hundreds of people and all this big stuff happening on TV, right. And they think if they show up to the Libertarian Party event, it's going to be similar. Right. And unfortunately, it's not. It's going to be a lot smaller because there's a lot fewer of us. Right. We're growing, but we're starting from a much smaller group, and we got to grow it. So I try and help set expectations for, you're going to show up and there's not going to be anyone to boss around. You're going to have to do all the work yourself probably, and find some more people to help you out.
Okay. Now, what do you feel is some of you guys, libertarians, roadblocks to building and growing like Democrat or Republican Party? Like, what is it that you guys feel as though is like a roadblock or something that you could do more of to grow?
And I'm going to piggyback on that, because that's an outstanding question, because my next question was, if you can kind of parlay what Markel is asking you and explain to the viewers at Talks Over Drinks about ballot access and why you're kind of here in Richmond, because Texas is your home. Yeah. And you've traveled here to Richmond, Virginia, so you're busy helping to help organize our state affiliate, the Libertarian Party of Virginia. So explain to the folks about ballot access, and that would be probably one of our major roadblocks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, so why aren't we bigger? Well, you know, we're a lot younger, even though the party is about, it may be like 47 years old now.
Correct.
So we have been around, but there are a couple of reasons. One, the Republicans and Democrats do pass laws that make it harder for us. They make us go out and get signatures to get on the ballot that oftentimes they don't have to get themselves.
Right.
So when we run a candidate in Virginia for U.S. Senate or for governor, we have to go out and collect 10,000 petition signatures, 10,000 valid ones. And I don't think the Republicans and Democrats have to do that in Virginia. Do you?
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
They certainly don't in a lot of other states. Rules are different in every state, so I'm not an expert in every state. But they, like in Texas, they don't have Republicans and Democrats. They don't have to get in signatures. Most other states, they don't. So just to run for office, we have to go spend all this time and money collecting signatures for our candidates just to get to the starting line.
Right.
Republicans and Democrats, they don't do that. They say, well, as long as we get at least 5% or 10% in elections each year, we don't have to go get signatures. So they kind of make these rules that help themselves and hurt us. Now, there are some... There is something where when you have an election and only one person wins, it can tend towards having just two parties naturally, just for mathematical reasons. And let me just explain, in some other countries, they have these parliaments where if you have an election, a nationwide election, and your party gets 5% in the election, then you get 5% of the seats in Congress. So that's not how. So if there was a libertarian party in England or somewhere and they got 5%, it doesn't work exactly like this. But in a lot of countries, you know,
Right.
you get 5%, you get 5% of the seats in Congress.
Okay.
In America, that's not the way it works. If you get 5%, you get nothing. It's whoever gets 51% in that
Right.
district gets the seat, and the other party gets none, and the third party gets none. You know,
Okay.
So that system that we have here, it's called first past the post or single member districts. That's like the technical term for it, I think.
Okay.
That can lead to two parties. But so yeah, there's some things about our election system that naturally leads toward it. There's some rules that Republicans and Democrats set up, but we got to do better anyway. We need to grow in it. It's been my job and my goal and my effort for 10 years or more to do that, and I've only done okay at it, not good, you know. And we need more and better people to try harder and do better than I've done, and join us. You know,
Right.
we don't need to. This is something that happens in quite a few libertarian groups. New guy shows up, thinks the old guy hadn't done enough work, wants the old guy to go away.
Changing of the guard.
Right.
Yeah, change the guard and let's start, and that's going to help. And it's like, maybe that'll help in some circumstances, but what we really need is the new guy to show up,
Right.
listen to the old guy, but the old guy also listen to the new guy, and we need the old guy and the new guy to both stick
Right.
around and work together or work separately and grow it. We need all our old folks, and we need a lot of new folks.
Good day, good day. This is your boy, better yet your man, Markel Prines, co-host of Talks Over Drinks, also home-based business coach and mentor. Check out this throwback video.
Hello, my name is Alex Merced, and I'm making this video to voice my support for Corey Falconer as he runs for Virginia's State Senate District 9. Corey will fight to make sure that your children have all the options available to them for education so that way they can be prepared for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. Corey will fight for vigorous criminal justice reform, making sure that our resources are prioritized to put real criminals behind bars and not putting our children behind bars for simple mistakes. Corey's going to fight for the ability for you to keep more of your income. That way you don't have to work as many hours to make ends meet, which means you can spend more time with your family, your kids, in your community, and doing the things you love. By electing Corey Falconer as your state legislator, he will be there to not only defend your rights and fight for opportunity, but also to hold Republicans and Democrats accountable instead of politics as usual. If you want different results, if you want change, you have to vote differently. So vote Libertarian, vote Corey Falconer, vote for something different. Thank you very much.
I think that one of the things that I've enjoyed in my time as a member of the Libertarian Party, as an activist, as a candidate, that I feel like you're right. There needs to be that balance between young and old, because young people may have technology and may have music or videography, but older libertarian activists and leaders like yourself, like Bill Redpath, like Dr. James Lark, have a history of the foundation, like Markel was talking about earlier. And I think one of the things that especially Dr. Lark has taught me is to always be kind, regardless if people accept your perspective as gospel truth or not. Because you win more people if you're kind to them and try to speak to them in a way that you can either learn from them or they can learn from you. As an engineer by education and maybe by work, what are some of the new things that you are trying to bring to the table to make growth in the Libertarian Party?
Well, you know, be nice is a great example, and I did the math as an engineer. Like I said before, I spent 10 years being mean and just arguing with folks. And
So that didn't work. That didn't
0
work.
times 10 equals 0. And I still have my moments when I'm not nice, but I actually do believe what you just said a lot. It's like we have to make an effort to be nice.
Right.
You have to remind yourself to try to be nice, even when you're irritated with this person who you're going to see at that meeting again next month.
Right.
You tell yourself to be nice to them, and you might it doesn't always work, but it sometimes works. Just forcing yourself to be nice, and suddenly they're nice back to you, and it's like you're moving on to the next project. That's good.
Okay.
But another thing to grow the party that I do think is very important is recruiting candidates and getting them to run for office. Because we can talk about the philosophy and we can do some outreach events and explain our positions on things and reach some people. But when you run for office as a candidate, you reach a whole lot of new people. Right now, we have a couple of candidates in the Richmond area.
Correct.
Who are going to run, and we have to go get signatures for them. Wow. And what that does force us to do is, and I've been walking around Richmond's neighborhoods,
right,
downtown, up north, southeast also,
right,
a bunch of places, at the Department of Motor Vehicles,
right,
talking to people saying, hi, we're collecting signatures to get a libertarian on the ballot. Would you sign our petition? And some people sign right away, and some people say no, and then some people say, well, who's the candidate? What are they running for? And I'll say, it's a libertarian candidate, and they'll say, well, what's a libertarian? And we're reaching out to the public that way,
right,
one-on-one, and you spend a lot of time doing that on petition drives. Also, once you're the candidate, we don't get as much publicity as we'd like, but we do sometimes get on TV. We get in the newspapers. You're the communications director for some of these guys, right? Yes, you're getting them in the press. So instead of just one-on-one, when we're in the press, tens of thousands of people find out about libertarians, and that helps us grow and reach more people.
And that's one of the things that, as Markel has known me for a few years, and he's kind of followed me with the party. That's one of the reasons why we decided to do Talks Over Drinks, as Wes was just eloquently sharing. A lot of times, the independent, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're an independent politician, whether you're an independent musician, you don't get the opportunity of big media coverage because you're the little person. And one of the reasons why we've done this program is because we understand how difficult it is to get the word out about you. With the advent of technology, social media, websites, you can help promote your own brand. And that's what we started to do with Talks Over Drinks, because as a communications director for the Libertarian Party of Virginia back in 2016, and I was the first African-American communications director for this party in this state, it was frustrating to me because the candidates that were not really good got all of this big publicity because they were with one of the major parties. And that was what kind of sparked me to do this with Markel and to be up late tonight to interview Wes, because we felt like his perspective as a libertarian leader, activist, employee, candidate himself was important to bring to you all who may not know a lot about the Libertarian Party. So I'm going to run down a list of names, and I apologize for you guys because I don't know what districts you're all in. I definitely want to start by shouting out our Chairman Bo Brown. He's the chair of the Libertarian Party of Virginia. These folks are running, and these are Libertarian candidates. So a lot of times it's a one-way race, especially in Virginia. So nobody's running against that Democrat or Republican. And the one thing I think that I will need to bring a visual to you all about is imagine a basketball game or a football game if there was only one team playing. Really would be boring because you would just see the same people doing the same things. Dustin Evans in the 16th district, Dean Davison, House of Delegates 19th district, Rachel Mace, James Joby, Russell Brady, Pete Wells, and Michael Bartley?
Yeah.
Bartley. Okay. Those are some of the candidates that we have running. And what's Mark's last name?
I'll get it in a second.
Yeah, you get Mark's last name. And I'll give a rundown of candidates. So some of these candidates have signatures already. If you know of these candidates, and I'm going to run down where they're from, so you can kind of do a search on your own. And Markel and I will definitely come back on a later episode of Talks Over Drinks. And I got a call from Dustin Evans after he saw the episode that we recorded the other night. And Dustin is inviting all libertarian candidates in the Commonwealth of Virginia to Richmond so that we can do a bar crawl and do an episode of Talks Over Drinks. So some of them will be able to spread their versions of liberty to their communities wherever they are in the Commonwealth. So you have any other questions?
I was going to ask you, touching on back on to the news feed and the way we get our information. Like, once again, this is why we do the show, because when I turn on my TV in the morning, usually it's on the news. And I'll be honest, it's on MSNBC. So there's one view that's on MSNBC, and then you could turn to, let's say, CNN, and you'll get another view. I haven't seen a station or a network that comes in the middle that's like a libertarian type of viewpoint. Everybody's either far left, far right. And I think this is a good medium to be able to get all aspects of politics in the midst, so that you could get a fair shake and have your point of view put forth to the public. What I was going to ask you about is, in this political climate, let's say talking about our president, I often talk about our president, but he coined the phrase fake news. And it's kind of diminished the value of the news that we're getting. So a lot of people are questioning, well, what's true, what's false? How do you feel about, like, the media, even though libertarians don't get a lot of publicity, but how do you feel as though you guys are casted in the media standpoint?
Well, I think, a lot of news is very biased, and it's biased towards Republicans like Fox News, that definitely sounds conservative and supports Republicans, and then there's others that seem to support Democrats more, and there's not a lot in the middle. All of them claim to be fair and balanced, or independent, or just news, but most of them lean to one of those or the other. And I think that's why it's important to have other sources of news out there to get other viewpoints, and especially the libertarian viewpoint, in my opinion, in a show like this, but also like just people posting information on Facebook, other YouTube videos and Facebook videos help get news out.
Right.
I think more and more people are watching their Facebook and Twitter feeds, and so they're getting a variety than are sitting there watching television shows these days. So we're getting more out there, and it is important because a lot of news is kind of divided in those two camps. A lot of people's opinions are, and with libertarians being kind of having some in common with both, people are more likely to listen to libertarians in many cases. A Democrat might just hate Fox News and Republicans and conservatives so much they can't hear what a Republican is saying. Even if they're saying something good, they just automatically don't trust it. Same with Republicans like me, not trusting anything that was anti-war. I'm like, no, y'all are just liberal, hippie, whatever, peaceniks, just bad, Right. But they'll listen to a libertarian. When I say to a Republican, let's end the war on drugs. I mean, maybe you're a law and order kind of person, but let's quit spending tax money on jail. Less people in jail means less tax money and spent by the government. And they're like, yeah, that would be better, if we cut taxes some. And when I explain to a liberal, now I need to think of another issue. The war on drugs as well. Let's wars, for example. Let's not go to war, so we're not hurting as many people. That one a perfect example, but I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So Wes, if folks want to get in touch with you, how would they communicate with you or get in contact with the PAC if they're interested in learning more about what the Booster PAC is doing to assist libertarian candidates?
Okay. They can go to our website, libertarianboosterpac.org, libertarianboosterpac.org, or I'm also easy to find on the internet. If you Google Wes Benedict, there's not many of them out there, so a lot of my stuff pops up. I feel sorry for the other Wes Benedicts in the world because they may not be libertarians, and their friends always find me. I'm sure that's the way it is when you have a unique name.
And one other thing, if you can send a message to libertarian affiliates across the United States, here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Or I have to say, what's up to the neighboring Libertarian Party in North Carolina? That's my other home party.
Okay.
If you were to say something about folks that may be thinking about running for office or getting more involved, what would you say to them tonight?
Please do it, and thank you for stepping up and trying. Our work is hard. It's not always rewarding, but if you think of the fact that we're doing good work that makes the world a better place.
Right.
And if I may not win my election, and everybody may not say I did a great job on my election, but if I changed people's minds and made the world a little bit more peaceful and prosperous, then I've done a good thing. And I want to thank guys like you for hosting shows. I would thank anyone who steps up and runs for office in Virginia or North Carolina or anywhere else.
Okay.
And that's what it takes. And we need to remind ourselves. I need to remind myself to be nice, like you said, because I'm nice 90% of the time, then I make an enemy for life.
That's
and I got to skip those.
Any last thoughts, Markel?
My last thought is just that it's great to have you here. It's great to hear a different perspective. Like I said, I know where I get some of my news and information from. And as a person who grown up being a Democrat, raised in a Democratic family, I feel as though if your views and the libertarian views were expressed more in the mainstream, that we wouldn't have the issues that we have, the majority of them. I think you guys' stance is where the mainstream is at.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to drugs and war and small government and people just being able to live free, I think that's what the majority of people want. And if we all got that viewpoint, I think it will change the dynamic. So appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
definitely, Wes. It's always a pleasure, sir.
Thank
Markel,
you. Yeah.
it's
all right.
always a pleasure. So once again, we are Talks Over Drinks. My name is Corey Faulknier. It's my partner, the guy Markel Prines. Wes Benedict, thank you for your time, sir. If you guys want to get in touch with Wes, just Google him, the Libertarian Pack. Check out a Libertarian candidate in an area near you. And next up, what do we have next up? The next episode of Talks Over Drinks, a Second Amendment episode of Talks Over Drinks, where we're going to bring the guns and the range to the viewers.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That will be.
So yeah, but once again, Talks Over Drinks, Corey Fogarty and Markel Prines, our guest Wes Benedict. We appreciate you being here. Cheers to you all. It's never too early or late to talk over drinks. So we're
That's
out.
right.
Yes, sir.
Good day, good day. This is your boy, better yet your man, Markel Prines, co-host of Talks Over Drinks, also home-based business coach and mentor. I want to ask you guys a question. How would you like to start a business from home where you can actually earn a residual or what we call a passive income? If you would like to know how to earn an income from home and start your own home-based business for less than $50, please join me on my Facebook channel, which is Markel Prines, or you can join me on my YouTube channel at Markel Prines also. And this board that you see behind me, you'll get real familiar with this. And as you can see this right here behind me, get to know Success Mountain. So get to know exactly what that means and what that stands for. And I look forward to sharing business opportunities with you guys. I hope you enjoy the show. Once again, this is your boy, better yet your man, Markel Prines, home business coach and mentor, and also co-host of Talks Over Drinks. Thanks again.
All right, let's talk over drink.
Talks Over Drinks. Talks Over Drinks. We can have a conversation. You can say what you think. I'm 40 plus and still rocking to this hip hop beat. Bring it live and direct right here from Broad Street. I pray that my lyrics do find you well, cause it's me, MSB, and a guy named Markel. The White Jason, you know he fan. Invite indie musicians coming straight slam. I got swerving beat sounds on the ones and twos, and together, united, we gon' bring it to you. We the RVA Rap Pack crew. So take your pick, Comcast or YouTube. No disrespect, I don't mean to be rude, but these other talk shows can't do what we do. I stay with the lyrics, some call me Dread Dude. Difference of opinion should not be called sin. Tell the truth, yo Dread, where you been? Invest a few minutes, I hope you tune in, yo. Politics, economics, education. These are topics across the whole entire nation. Keep it 100, we gon' talk about them, yo. Bring your kids, tell your mama and a friend, yo, it's Toast Over Drinks, Toast Over Drinks. We can have a conversation, you can say what you think.
Let's talk over drink. Pull up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk and let's build. Alright, let's talk over drink. We over here keeping it real, saying exactly how we feel. Come on, let's talk over drink. Pull up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk and let's build. Alright, let's talk over drink.